Hello, everybody, and welcome to Walking Between Shadows. I'm Taryn Elliott, and along with me is my amazing husband.
I'm Ben Elliott.
And we're here to talk about true crime all the time.
Today's a special day. We're starting to uncover and unfold a lot of things about Deborah and Ambria's case that we've wondered for years now, over 23 years. So today we welcome Kristi Sedlock, one of Debbie's best friends, and her brother, Tommy Gilliam. We're going to talk about some things we've learned along the way, some thoughts that maybe have come to mind since starting this a few weeks ago. And again, this is not scripted. This is just us talking. So welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So I want to start by reminding people that this was a case where a mother and daughter were found brutally murdered in their trailer in 1999 in the Milan, Tennessee area. Since then, we have gone through the many friends and family that we can find, the suspects, the case notes we've reviewed. We've talked about people along the way that were a part of their lives every day and some that weren't. And so I want to start by saying this case has been something in limbo, and probably the best thing that's happened to me along this way, aside from making these great friends sitting here with me.
Thank you.
I was just told last week by the Sheriff's Department that they had to have an answer soon. The two things they mentioned was that you deserve an answer.
Yes, he does.
The family deserves an answer. And the lead investigator in the case was emotional about that. The other person that was mentioned for those answers is Debbie's dad.
Daryl, Debbie's, I don't know, half sister or steps, but Darcy still needs answers too.
Yeah. So
does Jamie, Sarah, and Selena.
He made it right. Yes, they did.
There was allegations that this was an election move. When this was put out in the paper in 2018, let's say, and there was a story run on WBBJ.
Right.
That was in 2018. But this case was not reopened in 2018.
You know, a lot of people, because, and we were even under that impression because of that story WBBJ ran in 2018, that was when the current administration was taking a look at cold cases and re-examining evidence. It was 2016 when they reopened it and re-engaged with it before this story was published in 2018. So again, we set the precedent in our first episode or two that it could have been an election ploy for the sheriff to put himself out there as re-examining cold cases, and that's just simply not true. The truth is they had already been working on this for 2 years with people that we still don't even know they were working on it with before that story ran in 2018 on WBBJ.
Okay. So the other thing I want to add to that is we all had a very big concern that this was pointing in one direction.
Right.
In this presentation, we refer to DNA evidence that initially Brad Oliver, the investigator from the Gibson County Sheriff's Office, said that, you know, over the years it had been resubmitted so many times that the lab says that it's diluted and disappearing and probably not of very good quality. And in the testing that they had already had done early on, it came back either as inconclusive or it helped them rule certain people out, certain suspects out early on. Since then, having it retested, they're finding out that the multiple times it's been tested and retested that it's just worn out. There's basically nothing left there anymore to test. So we discussed alternative testing or different bench methods that were used to determine DNA, other things like familial DNA. Does the lab and the TBI have the capacity to do that sort of thing? Or would the Sheriff's Department be interested in trying to find out who they could hire to come in and do that?
It's been tested a lot. They do have results from it, and those results are otherwise inconclusive. Is the nurse that treated Jimmy Hand, who was the primary investigator, Now, fast forward to when Jimmy Hand dies.
2018.
Or 2018, that's right. So Jimmy Hand in the hospital, he's dying of cancer, but he was still of sound mind. Now, this was the lead investigator for the sheriff's department. Y'all probably talked to him.
More than likely.
Yeah.
Probably.
During his visit there,
Yeah, so in the story, we talk about Jimmy Hand being talked to by a nurse that was taking care of him when he was sick in 2018. And I kind of think we centered that around our initial show or episode where we thought everything happened in 2018. And turns out that the timeline when Jimmy Hand was in the hospital and talking to this healthcare professional, that it was 2015, not 2018. Jimmy Hand actually passed away in 2018.
she started prodding him for information and answers.
Good for her.
He also had explained exactly where Deborah and Ambria were in the house. She is, of everybody on this list outside of you guys, the most credible. We were under the impression that she was interviewed and talked to everybody back in 2018. We also found out the case was officially reopened to examination in 2016. And the resubmission of physical evidence took about 2 years. That's why it didn't come out until 2018 that they were working on it. And they did that story on Channel 7 News. But
We have a great appreciation for the Gibson County Sheriff's Department, Sheriff Paul Thomas, Chief Deputy Danny Lewis, Chief Investigator Brad Oliver, and Special Investigator Raymond Simmons. We submitted a Freedom of Information request to the sheriff sometime around our third episode, and the sheriff was very professional in his response. The very next day, he called me and invited me down to have a discussion with them and talk about the information that they could share and a little bit about what their plans are going forward. It's an active investigation. And that was the first thing I found out. And they're not going to reveal much of anything in that active investigation. In fact, they appreciated what we were doing by trying to keep this case and the highlights that we know out in the public. And hopefully that'll help garner some more people to come in and talk to them and find some resolution to this 23-year-old cold case. So I have to say, you know, it was a very professional response, and we've had nothing but absolute cooperation out of them to the extent that they can cooperate. But they have been very professional, and I just want to say one more time, thank you very much, and we're proud to have people like that on our side.
Yes, thank you.
all right, so the investigator's Brad Oliver with the Gibson County Sheriff's Department, and then Raymond Simmons. He was an officer in Humboldt, and then he retired as the chief a few years ago.
It seemed like the men in this group of people that were surrounding Debbie at the time of the murders, and pretty much throughout her life, seemed to keep women down. That seems to be a theme throughout this, is how, you know, the men in these groups would keep these women down, and
Very
women got
misogynistic.
comfortable in that.
Yeah, very misogynistic group.
Yes.
It seems like he and his brother have people for years have had them so scared that that's held a lot of people back. But a statement that Brad Oliver made to me was, you know, with time, they're not scared anymore.
No, they're not.
They're sick of it. There was evidence found in different directions than what we've been told in the past from the trailer. And that this woman probably would become a witness at some point.
We were told by a prior investigator that Ambria's backpack was found on Estes Esquire Road. And since we've learned from the Gibson County Sheriff's Department that it was not Ambria's backpack, they did, however, say that there were personal items of Debbie's found and that a witness saw someone placing boxes out by the road on the weekend before her body was found and Ambria was found. This neighbor inquired about putting that box or stuff from that box in her yard sale and was told no, but after the person left that placed the box out by the road, the neighbor went out and investigated and dug through the box, being a nosy neighbor, more or less,
Right.
and said that she had seen personal effects from Debbie and Ambria, toys and clothes. And that was it. That's where it ended. Nothing else was said about that.
Right.
with remembering Tommy talking to you one time, and you had gone to his house, and we thought maybe it was here in Trenton, but we weren't sure, and we're still not 100% sure.
Right.
And that there were at least two women in that house at that time, and one of them you were reasonably sure was supposed to come down here and pick Debbie and Ambria up and take her to Missouri. They came down here for 3 hours and went back.
Never went and checked on Debbie, never called.
Never did nothing.
Which was
Stirred her up.
on or about Tuesday or Wednesday
Yes.
of that week.
Yes.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, because they were going to stay the whole holiday weekend because it was Easter weekend.
Right.
And we thought initially that it was maybe that Monday before or something like that. No, she wasn't supposed to show up until either Tuesday night or Wednesday.
That would be the 30th or the 31st
Right.
of March. Okay.
And that they came down, stayed 3 hours, went right back.
Yes.
So they're very suspicious about that. That also brings me back to what we said about her cars. That Buick Regal.
We don't even know what happened to it.
They don't either.
They don't either.
They don't either. All they knew was that 1996 Beretta. It was blue.
And see, that was something new that just popped up. We didn't know anything about
We
a new
talked about that a
car.
lot.
And she wanted to buy it. And
Yeah, they wouldn't let her
they
buy
wouldn't
it.
let her buy it from the car lot. Well,
But
the car
they
lot's gonna want some money, you know? That's just,
You got a thought there, Tom?
The car was supposed to be paid off.
The Regal.
So if the car was paid off, why would somebody try to buy it from the car lot? From someone who had to work out a plan with the landlord to make payments on the rent so that she could
exactly.
move in.
So we understand from just talking to people that maybe the Regal was in disrepair and it wasn't running. Do you remember anything about that? About that car not running or being
Breaking down
breaking
or-
The car
down?
was running. Last I remember seeing it, it was running.
Yeah.
It was driving. She was still driving.
She
that
was
car.
still driving the car.
Yeah. All right, so the other thing that we understand is that Debbie was sharing Jamie's van for a few weeks. So we had somebody come forward and tell us that Jamie and Debbie were sharing a vehicle in the last few weeks before she died, that Jamie was having to carry her to work, and, you know, she was working 2 jobs, so that was cumbersome, I'm sure, and pick up Ambria from school or take her to school or take her to catch the bus for school. And so Jamie and Debbie shared that responsibility in the last few weeks.
Until she got the car, the Beretta.
Yeah, until she got that new car. But, you know, we can imagine that was probably, you know, a pretty stressful thing to have to do. And, you know, we understand that Jamie probably had a job with a construction company or something like that, and he had work he had to do. Debbie didn't have a lot of family around. Tommy was on the road, and at this point, Aunt Sandy had passed away, and Uncle Bill Lott was still living. But she just didn't have a lot to rely on, so I would imagine that was a pretty tough time for her and Jamie having to share a vehicle. Tommy, I want to take some time for you and Kristi both to discuss that time period for y'all. And one of the things that's come to mind about your experiences in 1999 and prior to that is in the times that you were not around when you were on the road. Did you talk to Debbie?
No, I'm not on the road, no.
Never stopped and called her or anything like that?
I barely called the girl I was with at the time.
Sure. Sure. Was there ever a time that Debbie expressed some sort of stress that made you feel uneasy about her situation?
Jim. She straight up told me she was terrified of Jim.
She did.
I asked her why one time. She never would tell me why. She said something about him she didn't like.
Yeah,
But he scared the hell out of her. Yeah. Yeah, I've been around a few times, but not.
Yeah.
You know, Kristi was asked to just kind of elaborate on things that really piqued her memory. And in a segment here, she talks a lot about the handful of people that she remembers. And one of them was Jim. This was a friend of Jamie's, and
he creeped her out. She didn't like him. And even Tommy elaborated on that he'd been around Jim a time or two, and just said that he knew Debbie didn't like him. He knew that Debbie had a problem with Jim being around.
What about Bill Lott?
That's my uncle.
Yeah.
He was he was married to my mama's sister, Sandy.
So the sheriff's department informed me that the house that y'all were living in Humboldt, we thought that Bill owned that house, and it was the mayor of Humboldt. He actually became mayor, I think, after the fact, and he had talked to Raymond a lot, and again had this certain amount of guilt because he said y'all were having way too much fun to still live in the house.
Right.
Yeah. And so he apparently had come back and talked to Raymond and Brad a time or two over the past 10 years. And just, again, do you know anything different? And it always came down to him having a lot of regret.
Yes, he did.
So, Kristi, is there anything that you want to add about your experiences with Debbie and anybody that we've talked about prior to?
Well, the Hatcher man, he was always really verbally abusive and aggressive person, especially towards women. Very, very abusive. He didn't think twice about hitting a female at the time or blackmailing them to do whatever he wanted to do.
Aunt Sandy seemed to be the safe person for Debbie and Ambria. And after she passed away, Bill Lott was not quite so soft, I don't believe. We talked a little bit about that with Tommy and Kristi.
Yeah, Kristi points out in a segment in here that Uncle Bill was Uncle Bill, and he liked to drink. He was not easy to get along with. He only wanted things seen his way, and he was just a tough case, for Ambria and Debbie both. And I think he regretted being that way after they were murdered, and he expresses that too. And Kristi does a good job laying out what that was like for them to experience that. I mean, she experienced it firsthand too. And even Tommy verified that, Bill could be a tough cookie.
Debbie and I and Ambria were all staying with Uncle Bill. He got mad because she started dating Mr. Robert, and he was an African-American man.
I remember that.
And he got really, really mad.
That's when
So give me some timeline here. When do you remember that occurring, if you can?
All I remember is she had left Jamie and moved in with Uncle Bill, and I was going through a hard time, and Uncle Bill asked me, I asked if I could stay, and he said yes. But I remember prior to that, Debbie getting beat up. The threats, the black eyes, the bruises.
I've seen perfect episodes about it,
he was always real short with Ambria, didn't have patience a lot of times. But when Uncle Bill told us to go, I felt bad because I had somewhere else to go. So, I mean, Uncle Bill, I rode with him to their funeral. And he was sitting there, I'm sorry, baby, I didn't mean to. I'm so sorry. Oh, God, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. And I told Tommy that. But Uncle Bill also drank a lot. But I always felt like he had something to do with the way that he was acting. Because Uncle Bill wasn't ever sorry for what Uncle Bill did.
Yeah.
He was never sorry for anything he did. And again, he could be a mean SOB. He could be really mean.
Bill.
Yes.
I don't know, he was always good to me.
Yeah.
But he could be kind of short, and I didn't know at the time. At first, I felt sick.
That barely used, and he got a little upset
on that barrel,
That's when I was riding bulls.
But he the way that he acted when he found out about Debbie and Robert, I've never seen him that livid.
Do you remember his relationship with any women, Uncle Bill? Either of you?
His Aunt Sandy, and he had a sister
And Sandy
Man.
passed away before him, right?
Yeah,
Yes, she did.
heart attack. I think it
And she was good. She was good to Debbie.
Oh, yes.
Shit, my Aunt Sandy
Yes.
was the shit.
Yes.
Aunt Sandy was, Aunt
But
Joanne
there
was.
was just different people over the years. You know, I personally feel like, you know, Debbie was loved by everybody. You know, Ambria was too. And the thing that gets me is certain people, and it just seems like everybody that we've talked about, they're in a group, and each one would have their different. Like she would hang around with somebody for one reason because she liked them. And then there's somebody else that come in that I've never even heard of.
She would hang around with this other person, this person here,
Yeah.
one issue or another.
But she
Right.
was always trying to bridge people's relationships.
Yes, she was.
She didn't want people
She didn't want
angry
people fighting.
and
She used to get
fighting.
mad at us and crack him in the back of the head and tell him to be nice. Come on, Bubba, be
Just didn't want the
nice.
confrontation.
No, she didn't.
I got it.
There was Clay. Back in the day, she talked about Clay. And then the Hatcher guy, Uncle Bill, how he did her. And then there was Jamie and a couple other people that, you know, it's been so long, but those are the ones that stick out the most in my mind.
I
They
gotta
stick out
put
the
up
most in my
with
mind.
Bill, I think the deal with him was he felt guilty because he kicked her out.
But that day he was so raging mad. I mean, he was angry.
I
Very
saw-
angry.
I thought I was gonna fall in the grave that day.
So who? There was mention of a red and silver pickup truck.
That's Uncle Bill's truck.
Red and silver, red and white. Yeah,
And he had
Yeah,
some
but
stuff on the
Ford
back
F-150.
window too.
F-150. Syndicate. It wasn't a full Ford. It was like a Syndicate. Sitting there, I mean, we both helped move stuff back out there to that truck.
So I mean, that's when they said that this truck driver was the brutal son of a bitch who ran his girlfriend down,
Right.
and who apparently someone rode with him that Wednesday when he left on his load. And that's when they were told the story about what happened to Debbie and Ambria. But they would not say names. They said, you guys are gonna have to go fish that out. Truck driver from the area, possibly associated in Crockett County somehow, with a company he might have driven for at the time. We just had to give y'all everything we've been given.
Right.
Right.
And the connection with this one truck driver,
Talking about Clay, I don't even think Clay did that with my sister.
really? Yeah.
So that's what I told Ben. I told him, well, yeah,
Don't know.
you'd be amazed how many people don't know that that's my sister. Man.
Right.
Sure.
So I never kept it out of that side of my life. Thing about
They all
driving the truck
circling.
at that point in time is you can jerry rig your fucking logbook to show you somewhere else.
Sure.
And you'd either give your fuel card to somebody else, let them use your fuel card to prove that that's where you was at.
Yeah, so,
Trust me, I've thought about that too.
well, and the backpack we thought was Ambria's that was found. A couple officers said it was a backpack, but it was confirmed that it was not Ambria's backpack. So her purse was found at the cemetery down from her, right?
Right down the
On
road.
Mount Pleasant?
Yep.
So that was right down the road from her, not even a mile probably.
Yeah,
Her,
I've thought about that.
yeah, but it wasn't Ambria's backpack that was found in Gibb. It was some of Debbie's cards. So some of the things that she would carry in her wallet, maybe like a movie gallery card or, you know, credit cards or debit cards or whatever. But it was not Ambria's backpack. Ambria was home that Wednesday with head lice. So she didn't go to school
Yeah.
Wednesday. We don't know who kept her that day. We don't know who kept her.
Yeah, because Debbie apparently was at work that
Debbie
morning.
was at work because she got a phone call on Wednesday afternoon, that Wednesday, and was terrified when she left work. Terrified.
I don't know who had that bread that day. Nobody ever come forward to say anything.
They wouldn't say anything about
They
it.
wouldn't say who had her.
I
So
didn't find out. I didn't find out about it till there was maybe that Monday afterwards.
Yeah.
The following
Yeah.
Monday, because I didn't get in till like Saturday, sometime that Saturday.
yeah,
And then the woman I was with was working at Porter Cable, and I took her to work, so that had been Monday morning. Or it might have been, I don't remember.
Well, it would
I
have been
remember I was
Monday.
standing out there
Would've been a Monday.
at the guard shade. I was talking to the guard at Porter Cable at the time, seeing them kind of friends. We was talking about getting together, going riding horses and shit. And I looked up, and Brent Holland was bringing my girlfriend out in his pickup truck. First thing coming to my mind, what the fuck is going on here?
Right.
Yeah.
Like the best of motherfucking work. Now she leaving with, oh hell no. I was thinking it was real.
Yeah.
And they got out of the truck. They were looking for me. And that's when she told me what happened to Debbie and Ambria. And I just,
Yeah, because that fits the Sunday discovery into the early Monday.
we went and told Mama and Nene, it was Renee Epperson. Steve Epperson's wife. And told her what had happened. And she sat down with me. And she's known me all my life. I'm sorry, she was actually one of them that went to the trailer.
Oh, yeah.
And then from there, we went to my Joanne's house. We was living there behind SOS at the time before she passed away. And from there, that's when I realized I needed to call Gary, her first husband, let the girls know. And then had to get out there, which was her daddy. And I remember everybody in the family. Well, not everybody, but there were several people in the family. Hey, you ain't got no damn business, blah, blah. I told everybody in the family, let me tell y'all something. I said, even though him and Debbie might not always got along, that is still his motherfucking daughter.
That's right.
He has to goddamn right now. So if any motherfuckers got something to say about it, you want to bitch about it, don't fucking show up.
Right.
I
Yeah.
don't want to hear it.
Right.
So that ended right there.
Sure.
And so I just want to have to tell Daryl until I had to call the Concordia Parish Sheriff's Office. And they gave me the subdivision phone number from Monterey. Called there, got the dispatch, told them what I was trying to do, told them who it was, and which you got to understand Monterey. At that point in time, it was before Hurricane Katrina, so it still hadn't pretty much changed any since I was a fucking kid living there. So everybody knew everybody. And so the dispatcher said, yeah, I know who you're talking about. And she's like, well, I don't know if he's home or not, but I'll call. I said, well, here's my phone number. Ask him to give me a call. So she got a hold of Gary's wife at the time, and she called me. And I told her what had happened. She said, baby, he's offshore. I said, any way you can get a hold of him? She said, well, yeah, I can get a hold of him, but I have to wait till he called me or whatever. I said, that's fine. Just let him know what's going on. And then Gary called me back the next day. When he found out what was going on, he called the company. They flew a helicopter out to him, picked him up, and brought his ass back from offshore. And told him when he called me when he got home, I told him what was going on. And then him, Colette, and the girls showed up the next day. Met him at Burger King, Humboldt. Got there. There was Bug, Cece, and Jamie. Jamie was standing here, Cece was standing there, and I said, Cece and Jamie. See her, Jamie. Jamie said, no, I'm Cece, and that's Jamie. I said, no, you ain't, because you're Jamie, that's Cece. Gary started laughing. He said, y'all can't fool me. He's the only one that's ever been able to do this. I done come up with a special way to tell them two girls apart. And 3 girls never got to see their mama. Never got to know how beautiful she was. I know there were some people there I seen that I hadn't seen in years. And there were some people that showed up from Louisiana that Debbie went to school with that I hadn't seen, that Debbie knew, that I knew, that I hadn't seen. God, since I was
A little kid.
yeah.
Wow.
And I'm pretty sure most of them didn't even realize who I was. But which don't make a fuck to me.
No. It's so.
Like my wife would tell you, it's one thing. It's like my kids, I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks of me. I don't give a fuck what they say about me. What matters to me is here and down my family. That's it.
That's it.
Fuck everybody else. They ain't me.
That's right. They hadn't had to live your life.
That's right.
You know,
Well,
girls never got to see and meet their their half sister, Ambria.
they never got to see her at all.
No.
They would have loved that little girl.
Yeah, but
She was awesome.
She was a ham, wasn't she, Tommy?
Dolly was a handful. Not in a bad way.
She had her heart of gold. She was
Had to
there
take
was
care of her mama.
Yeah, she got mad at me one time. She wanted to have McDonald's, and the woman I was with, Martha, at the time, was cooking supper. And she got mad. She told her, "Hey, Martha, I want McDonald's." Martha said, "No, I'm cooking. You're not gonna get McDonald's." And I come in and said, Martha done got a little aggravated. Tommy said, "Oh, she wants that McDonald's." I said, "Look, damn it." She said, "Yes, sir. You're not getting no damn McDonald's. You gonna eat what she cooks, or you gonna go there without." That's the end of the fucking story.
Yeah.
I said, "That's the way I was brought up. I said, that's the way your mama was brought up, and that's how you gonna be brought up. You what the fuck's fixed, you go to bed without it."
She's thinking, wait, I'm the baby.
Yeah.
I'm the baby.
She didn't like it, but after Mom got done, I remember she sat down to eat. Shit, she tore it up. She was happy as a hot hole with a coop on her mother.
She was the cutest little thing.
Yeah, she was.
Just the cutest little thing.
Do you know, I had bought her, she'd wanted a pair of Justin lace-ups like I always wear. Used to wear all the time.
Yeah.
I bought her a pair. That year, before all this happened, I bought her a pair for Christmas. She never got to wear them.
Well, I'll tell you
Debbie
what.
told me one time, she said she wants a pair of boots just like her Uncle Weepies. I was like, you tell her she got it.
I think she came here to take care of Debbie. And she
I do too.
I do. It's bringing up even some comparisons like Whitney Houston, even her daughter. Sometimes your kids are here to make it the best they can. Give you a little bit of that ace in the hole and
Right.
it's terrible, but the chaos. I think that Ambria was her
Rock.
Her rock.
Yeah.
Security blanket.
A tough little girl. And kept
Yeah, I
her
told
going.
Becca, I said, I don't know why Debbie never told me about the problem between her and Tammy. She never would tell me. Becca looked at her because Becca looked at my wife because she knows what you would do.
She knows exactly what you
Exactly. And Ambria, kids, when they ask for things and there's something going on, they don't ever directly say,
No.
like, they'll say, well, he's being mean to me, or, or will you
Well, so
complain
that's
with
how
me?
I took it when she told me that. It's just a kid being a kid.
Yeah, and when you're younger like that, you don't really realize it when you're 20s, Now that I'm older and I think back when my kids needed me, or my nieces, and it was more, come play with me,
Right.
They don't say I've had a bad day, really. They just say, will you come play with me, or can I come to your house, or something
Right.
like that. And
I wish our kids were having some grandkids so I can get that when I come home. Yeah.
I guess like you better not.
Believe it or not, Ambria, being as young as she was really simple.
Really?
Yeah, she was.
She would, that's what she wanted for Christmas. She said, a baby doll.
Yeah.
Yes, what kind? It don't matter. It was just a baby doll.
Just a baby doll.
She didn't care.
She didn't care.
She was simple.
She was beautiful. Both of them.
And that giggle and that laugh. They're making fun of Aunt Sandy, trying to eat Aunt Sandy's BC powder. She always acted like she had a headache. She a little turd. Loved to play
Aunt Sandy.
Barbies.
Yeah,
Dig in the dirt.
Just be outside.
Yeah, little girl.
Yeah, be a little girl.
But he said Bill lived out in Gun Flat. David and Brian was married. They lived out in Gun Flat. Aunt Sandy, Bill lived in this house. David and Brian lived in the house right behind them.
Yeah.
And the horse barn, the stalls was right here behind them.
Yeah.
And he had a lady, she was actually a Tennessee Walker. Loved riding that girl. Oh my God. Get in that little trial, man. It's like riding a fucking Cadillac, just smooth. Just go on about business. And then she had a colt. Which turned out to be a still that named Fire. Good reason. You did stand with when you stood around fire, you had to stand there with your toes curled underneath. You always had to wear long sleeve shirts around him when you was supposed to down. If you didn't, he had to have stomping on your
Stomping
toes
on you.
and biting you.
Oh, shit.
While you're busted out. So you always wore something baggy, baggy sleeves, so that way if you got hold of it, you just get a shirt or whatnot. And then lady had an offspring, another colt. Turned out to be a mare. And they said they named her Dolly after Ambria.
After Ambria.
Yeah. She looked like a little baby doll.
Oh, yes.
Pretty little thing.
I remember her first birthday.
Do you?
Got that girl flat.
So she was married to Brian when Ambria was very young.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And David met her. About that big, about that white chocolate cake, chocolate ice, you know, white cake, whatever, chocolate ice. Man. She didn't have a high chair, nothing but a diaper on.
That's right. Yep.
And she's black as those, I know those pants look black, but they're actually blue in that picture. Or purple, I can't remember. But, man, she had that chocolate up here, all over. And I was laughing. And David said, "You gonna pick her up?" I love you, sis. No.
Get her. Just big.
Time out. No.
Yep, that birthday cake. So all the Greer babies are the same way. And my kids, I can remember all the first birthdays. They just
She did Selena the same way.
itchy.
Selena had chocolate in her hair. Oh, God. She's everywhere.
She's such a pretty. I've seen, like I said, I saw some pictures of
So like I
Selena.
tell you earlier, Selena was the first diaper I ever changed.
Yeah.
And I put this something going on backwards. I
Oh, Lord.
thought I was doing good till Debbie and Gary was picking on me about it the next day.
No.
I said, "You changed Bug's diaper?" "Yes, sir." "Well, I can tell." "Huh?" "Tell me this, Bug's. Good effort.
Yeah.
Put it on backwards." "How did I put it on backwards?" "You got tape folded like a taco. There you go."
There you go.
You should have turned it the other way. Tape
Yeah.
comes forward, not the other way around. Oh, my
Do you talk
bad.
to any of them?
Huh?
Do you talk to any of them now?
Jamie every now and then. Oh. Sledder's on my Facebook, but we don't. I ain't talked to her in a long time. See her, I ain't seen since the last time she was up here. Jamie's in Florida. Sierra's in Louisiana, and Selena's still in Louisiana.
Is there anything, again, since we've started talking, I've gotten through pretty well everything that we've covered or talked about so far between us. Is there anything that's coming to mind that any of you want to mention that we haven't covered? Are there questions I'm not asking or Terrence not asking that we need to?
Now that you just about covered it, I just called the law to fucking come and help you, and the motherfucker turned the blind eye. And all he had to do was pick the goddamn phone up and make a fucking call. All the fuck he had to do.
Yeah.
And the lazy son, I hope he's burning in fucking hell.
Oh,
And I don't
he
give a
is.
goddamn if his family don't like what the fuck I just said. Fuck them too.
Well, I'm glad at least they said that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they
Like I
covered
said,
it up for so
I'm not gonna say
long.
any names. But
Way
like that,
too long.
Y'all know who I'm talking about? All I gotta say is, I hope they're burning in hell. It goes back to what I said before. As far as, well, we think we might have it solved. They told me that 4.5, almost 5 years ago, maybe.
It's been 5
Sort of
years.
tell y'all the same
Has it?
thing.
5 years?
So I can't believe nothing they say until they show it to me.
Right.
Yeah.
I believe y'all, but I can't.
I don't believe them anymore. I don't. They give him a gleam of
A lot of
hope.
things that just
He
happened.
called me and give me a gleam of hope, and then it's all of a sudden like a slap in the face. Like,
Nothing.
it doesn't matter. Who cares about you? We worried about us.
Yeah. Worried about covering up.
Yeah, I mean, and then everything would go quiet. And then oh, well, we got this and this. Well, why didn't you tell anybody? Well, it's so secretive that you can't tell, especially her own blood brother,
Sit there,
what
you
you
know, talk
found
about-
or what's going on.
Debbie and I had different daddies. Oh, really? They started writing all this shit down.
Yep.
Y'all should have already had this.
Yeah.
Why is this a fucking surprise? You look at that, look at me. Yeah, you can tell we're kin.
Yeah. Yes, very much.
We both got a lot of my mama in
But
her.
you still ain't cute.
I have to say, I just think Debbie is just Just gorgeous.
She was super.
Just
Beautiful inside and out. She loved everybody. But when she got those feelings,
you got her mad.
that creepy feeling over somebody or scary feeling, you knew it was for a reason. She might always tell. Sometimes she tell you, but other times it's like, just never mind. This one creeps me
He's
out.
just weird, yeah.
He's
Me
a
and boy,
freak or
like I told
whatever.
Monday when I got told, and when I made it to the sheriff's department over here. Not at that point in time. But at the funeral and everything over with, they told me that, no, I'll take it back. Before we had the funeral. I had to, I couldn't have open caskets, so it had to be closed caskets on both of them. She said I smiled David when she was 115 pounds soaking wet.
Right.
And they told me that she'd been there long enough in that house, the windows were closed. They looked like she'd swelled up, looked like she weighed 200 something pounds. And Ambria looked like she weighed well over 100, as small as she is. So with the way the bodies were, I couldn't have open caskets. The funeral director even told me I couldn't do it. Like a certain person said that they chose the headstone and all that. No, she didn't. No, they didn't. Headstone came out of Mala. Everybody turned to me wanting to know what I wanted to do. You know, I picked that headstone out. It's not easy. I've seen over the years people say, well, everybody's forgot. If you motherfuckers think I forgot,
Right.
you don't fucking know me.
Forget.
Right.
Not ever gonna forget.
No.
None of you son of bitches know the nightmares I fucking live every goddamn day. You tell a motherfucker, let it go. You can't let shit go when you don't get no fucking answers. Fuck all of y'all. Am I angry? Yeah, I'm angry.
Yeah.
I'm angry because what I had left of my family is fucking taken away from me. Taken away from 3 girls that never got to know their mama. So if any of the motherfuckers still alive had anything to do with it, your time's coming. That I promise you. And for everybody who has stepped forward and spoken up that didn't speak up before, thank you all.
Exactly, thank you.
And I really appreciate it. Being in town, I appreciate everything y'all done and what y'all are trying to do.
Couldn't have done it without y'all and everybody else talking either. I mean, for so many years, no answers, nobody trying to get people to give answers, give some kind of closure, you know, to share with us what you know. Nobody was doing that.
Right.
Nobody. All that we know is that they're gone, and whoever did it, the way that we're feeling, they're still out here doing whatever, living their life or whatever they want to do. It's like, okay, Tommy, now we know. Okay, too bad. Now this, too bad. It's not fair.
This has been Walking Between Shadows. Again, I'm your host, Ben Elliott, and my wife, Taryn Elliott. Look for our next episodes coming soon, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button.